Hello everyone, my name is Natalia. Again, I am here to talk about how does transparency, professional ethics, and discipline become crucial in our exercise. So for this article, I came across three questions that I wanted to share. And the first one is, what teacher am I going to be? What if the most popular teacher is the way of building my best identity? And what role am I going to play in the language class? And this comes to my practicum, where I learned that sometimes the best teacher is the best teacher for who, and how and under what qualifications am I being evaluated? Am I being evaluated by the students? Am I being evaluated by myself? Am I being evaluated in a non-romanticized way, but rather uh, under on the ground based um, teaching practice evaluation? What and how am I going to be teacher? It depends not only on the language curricula. It doesn't depend on the students, not even my peers when I'm working. But because it is always dependent on my practice and how am I building the spaces and dialogues for interactions and the competences that in the case of English the CFR um evaluates. And how am I going to make evaluation, testing, and assessment relevant for the class? We live in a crowded era, and paradoxically, we still lack the ability to dissect information to build our own criteria. What is the criteria I have when I'm teaching? And I believe this comes to the ethical um, point of teaching. How am I building the relevant criteria for my practices? It is crucial in society where the schools are the key of a new society. Hence, the teacher should inform themselves, have their own criteria for teaching, and question the information we encounter. We are in the age of information, but we sometimes seem isolated from the reality we encounter in the class. I think that the teacher should know better what are the interests, demands, and needs of the context, as well as what are the social dynamics that the student encounters themselves. This is an overwhelming complexity of information, an overwhelming and complex information that we encounter in social media and in the news about how teachers should have our lessons. But the only ones that are in the task of doing that is us. We need deeper analysis to move our reality and to have achievement in our lesson planning. And to have this success, we should know what purpose and intention we are gonna develop in the classes. And this, to acquire this, we should know that Colombia, in the case of English, we do not have a proficiency level. We are in the lowest rankings, and that comes with the EF English proficiency in the index rankings. and to 2024, made in 2024, which is just 1 year ago. And sometimes uh, how how we build our own criteria, it comes with research. How am I going to make research for my to develop my language curricula? And in this way, Villafranchi in 2020 discussed in her article how research can enhance objectivity and skepticism to evaluate the efficient educational programs. Is this program in this institution is being transparent? Is it being relevant to the context? Are we really innovating in the class? Or are we falling under the needs? For this, we just need to make the scientific research, identifying the problem, making a literature review, a hypothesis formulation, and in this way we can solve or start making research on how are we going to solve this issue. And for this, we need the methodology, the data analysis, the findings, and the discussion. With this discussion, it makes us build better practices, different from the ones that we have done over the years, maybe in our institutions. And because we lack of these things, we lack of research in our educational environments, and it comes in with official school and non-official schools, we repeat over and over the same assumptions that we have done in the past, but that are not relevant for now. So teachers should be in the process of formation as an ethical need in our learning context. Overcoming this overload of information becomes crucial, and it is only done by research. We also see that the teachers should enhance their methodology, and it comes to the transparency and professional ethics. When we have developed our own criteria and a very solid way of teaching, we could navigate the informal complexity of the language classrooms. And building our own judgment, we could promote and we could be figures. We could promote meaningful learning beyond the mere transmission of data.